Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the National Science Day Assembly. Every year, the National Science Day is held on the 28th of February to mark the discovery of the Raman effect by the Indian Nobel laureate Dr. C.V. Raman. National Science Day is celebrated to spread the message about the importance of science used in the daily life of the people and to display all the activities, efforts, and achievements in the field of science for human welfare. In today's time, the COVID-19 vaccine is one of the most important scientific achievements. Now I, Vani Sethi, and my peer Khushi Chaudhary will introduce the chief guest on behalf of the Science Committee and Genesis Global School. Our today's chief guest is Dr. C.P. Baweja. Professor Baweja is a professor of excellence at Maulana Azad Medical College, New Delhi, a premier medical institute of India. He has also worked as Director Principal of BSA Medical College, Government of NCT of Delhi, and Additional Director General of Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, New Delhi. He has been teaching medical students and mentoring postgraduate students for over 3 decades. Dr. Baweja was awarded with a gold medal during his post-graduation by University of Delhi. He has also been honored with State Award by Government of NCT of Delhi for his meritorious services in the field of healthcare and Alumnus Award of Maulana Azad Medical College, New Delhi, presented by the Vice President of India.
Professor Baweja has published a number of scientific papers in national and international journals. In his zeal to pass on his knowledge, he has authored a number of books for undergraduate and postgraduate medical students. He is also a recipient of an international fellowship at the Royal Postgraduate Medical School, RPMS, and Hammersmith Hospital, London. He has been invited to present his scientific research work in many international conferences held in the US, Sweden, Switzerland, Thailand, Netherlands, Singapore, and Australia. Dr. Baweja was also invited as the keynote speaker in many of these conferences. I would now like to invite Dr. Baweja to speak.
Thanks, Vani and Kushi, for lovely introduction. I am feeling honored to be a part of this National Science Day celebrated by Genesis Global School, Noida. This day, as described by Vani, that it is for discovery of Raman effect by Sir C.V. Raman. Sir C.V. Raman was the first Indian scientist to be awarded Nobel Prize in 1930 for this discovery. And he discovered this in 1928 on this day. Further, I would like to express my gratitude to the organizers and especially to Mrs. Madhur Gupta, Principal CBSC of Genesis Global School, Noida, for inviting me on this occasion for this lecture on COVID vaccines, which is relevant to today's world scenario. And of course, organizers are students. I'm very glad to know that students are organizing this important day. And without taking much of your time, let's start the topic of COVID-19 vaccines. Topic is journey of Indian vaccines for COVID-19. First, we should understand what is journey. Journey is from lab to jab. Lab in which we have virus, COVID-19 virus is there. And jab is injection of vaccination. So how from laboratory a virus to a vaccine production occurs? That is the journey of an inoculation into the persons. So laboratory has a virus. So first we have to identify which part of the virus will be appropriate for making vaccine. It's a whole vaccine, it's a whole virus or some part of the virus that is to be identified in the laboratory. And then process starts for making a vaccination and then authorization and then injection is prepared. That is the whole journey of COVID-19 vaccine or any other vaccine for that matter. So vaccination, a term vaccination has been used by all of us from our childhood. What is vaccination? Vaccination is basically the administration of a vaccine for protection of persons from the disease. That is the layman language, that protection from a disease should be there by vaccine administration. Vaccines. What is vaccine? Vaccine can be prepared from whole virus or components of virus. Whole virus, I am talking about whole virus because topic is on COVID-19. Otherwise, vaccine protection may be from bacteria or any other pathogen. So whole virus may be weakened virus or killed virus. Weakened virus means that it will not produce a disease, but will able to stimulate our immune system. So in medical terminology, it is named as a live attenuated. It's live virus, but not produce the disease. Killed virus is a dead virus. Again, it will not produce a disease, but will stimulate the immune system. Then components of virus are there. Components of virus.
पीपीटी में शेयर हो रही थी, अभी मैंने फिर से पीपीटी शेयर की है, पहले शेयर नहीं हो रही थी, तो अभी
दोबारा शुरू कर।
हाँ, अभी एक बार पूछ लो, मैं उनको दिखाया नहीं।
Is it visible now? Is it visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Screen is. I have shared the screen again.
Yes, sir. We can see, sir.
So
Thank
we should start again then.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Journey of Indian vaccines for COVID-19. What is journey? Journey is from lab to jab. Lab to jab means that in a laboratory, we have a virus. And how virus is converted into a vaccine, that is the journey. In the laboratory, first it is to be identified which part of the virus or whole virus will be useful for making a vaccine. And then vaccine is, jab is a injection of vaccine. So vaccination from our childhood, all of us, we are using a word vaccination. Vaccination is the administration of a vaccine for protection from the disease. That is a layman vaccination definition. And vaccines are used for vaccinations. So vaccines can be prepared from either from whole virus or from components of the virus. Whole virus may be weakened virus. Weakened virus means that it will not produce a disease, but will be able to stimulate our immune system. In medical terminology, it is named as live attenuated. And another way of making vaccine is killed virus. Killed virus means dead virus. Again, it will not produce a disease, but will be able to stimulate the immune system. And then components of virus. It may be purified protein. Purified protein, like in COVID-19, one protein is there, S protein or spike protein. So that portion of virus is used, which is important for producing a disease. Spike protein attaches to our cells to produce a disease. So if we have vaccine which will act on spike protein, so spike protein will not attach to our cells, so it will not produce a disease. That is the basic principle. And vaccines can be prepared either from whole virus or component of virus. I am talking about virus only because lecture is on COVID-19. Otherwise, the same methods can be used for bacterial vaccines and other vaccines also. So types of vaccines. Types of vaccine depend on from which part of the virus you are making vaccine. If you are using a weakened virus, it will be live attenuated vaccine. If you are using a killed virus, so it's a killed vaccine or inactivated vaccine. Then if you are using subunit, some part of component of virus, it's a subunit vaccine. One very important example of subunit vaccine is hepatitis B vaccine, which many people must have taken hepatitis B vaccine. And another example of live attenuated vaccine is oral polio vaccine, which is being used for eradication of polio in the world. Then newer vaccines are DNA vaccine and RNA vaccine. Till today, there was no DNA vaccine or RNA vaccine for human use. So this is the first time that COVID-19 vaccines are prepared as a RNA vaccines. RNA vaccine. In the world, it is the first time that RNA vaccines are being used for prevention of a disease, that is COVID-19. Then what is the purpose of vaccination? Purpose of vaccination is, number one, to protect the individual from disease. Number two is to reduce the severity of disease. And then another is to protect the community. Protect the community means in the population. Population should be protected. This is very important for herd immunity. Herd immunity means population immunity. If most of the population is covered by vaccination, then herd immunity occurs. And then eradication of disease. It can also be used for eradication of disease, as in pulse polio immunization program is going on for eradicating polio. So eradication, and even smallpox has been eradicated. Basically, most of the vaccines used in prevention of viral diseases are there because for bacterial diseases, we have antibiotics and those can be treated. But antiviral drugs are not available. Very few antiviral drugs are available. And another problem with viruses is that they are intracellular. When intracellular or pathogen is there, then it's very difficult to treat that particular pathogen. Then mechanism of vaccination. How vaccines act. So vaccination is there after a few weeks of vaccination, immune system is stimulated. Immune system is stimulated, then that virus or component of virus is knocked out from the human body, because our immune system is such that anything which is non-self mean which does not belong to ourself, our body. So any foreign substance, immune system will start acting. So this is vaccination is also a foreign substance. So immune system will start acting to knock it out. But meanwhile, this fight is going on between the two. So meanwhile, some memory cells are there in the body. Memory cells will remember this virus or antigen or component of the virus for future encounter. Whenever there will be future encounter with the virus, these memory cells will be activated and will start producing antibodies and other action of immune system to kill that virus. That is a mechanism of vaccination. This picture shows how vaccination and natural infection acts. Whether it's a vaccination or a natural infection, it will act on our immune system. So natural infection also stimulates our immune system is stimulated by natural infection also and by vaccination also. Only difference is in vaccination, one will not get the disease, but in natural infection, it depends upon how fight is there. If immune system is more powerful, then natural infection will not occur. But if natural bacteria or virus is powerful, then infection occurs. That is the difference between vaccination and natural infection. Otherwise, process is same, that immune system will be stimulated to fight. And how vaccines are delivered? There are various methods of delivery of vaccines. It may be delivered by injection in the muscle, named as an intramuscular, may be given under the skin, intradermal injection, and then via the oral route. Oral route example is oral polio vaccine is being given orally. Then intramuscular route is used for COVID-19 vaccines. And vaccines sometimes require more than one dose because you want a complete immunity. So immune stimulation should be proper. So in sometimes one dose is enough, but sometimes more than one doses are required, booster doses are required. Status of COVID-19 vaccines in India. What is the status of COVID-19 vaccines in India? Two vaccines are being used, Covishield and Covaxin. First two vaccines are being used. Covishield is UK vaccine, Oxford AstraZeneca, and it's a viral vector vaccine. Phase 3 trials has been completed. And in India, this vaccine is being manufactured by Serum Institute of India, Pune, as in the name of Covishield. Covaxin is a Bharat Biotech pharma company is manufacturing this vaccine. It's a whole virus inactivated. So it's a killed vaccine, whole virus. And phase 3 trial is ongoing. And this is the totally indigenous vaccine. And then another vaccine, other trials are going on in India. Jycov-D by Zydus Cadila. It's a plasmid DNA vaccine. Then Sputnik. Sputnik is a Russian vaccine, which is being manufactured under trial by Dr. Reddy's lab. And it's a combined vector vaccine. Then HGCO19, Pune-based Genova company is having a trial of this vaccine. This is an mRNA vaccine. This is again indigenous and first mRNA vaccine. This will be the first mRNA vaccine if succeeded. Then another vaccine is NVX CoV2373. This is Novavax. Novavax is one company, foreign company with Serum Institute of India. This is under trial. It's a subunit vaccine. Then recombinant protein antigen-based vaccine, Biological E company of India, Hyderabad, again a subunit vaccine. And another vaccine by nasal vaccine is being tried by Bharat Biotech. Nasal vaccine will be very useful If successful, the nasal vaccine, you don't require any injection. And till today, only nasal vaccine which are being used is for influenza virus. And journey of vaccine, cold chain is very important in journey of vaccine. So first is to make the vaccine. Antigen is there, then you have to add some components so that this antigen or virus have a enhancement of stimulation should be there. So for enhancement of stimulation of immune system, some adjuvant and other materials are added. Then it is prepared, then it is taken permission from World Health Organization, WHO, for emergency use listing. Then this cold chain should be maintained from manufacturer till the person who is to be injected, till that. So even transport, during transport also cold chain should be maintained. And like in polio immunization program, you must have seen the cold chain maintenance. And in COVID-19 also, cold chain has to be maintained for effectiveness of vaccine. Otherwise, vaccine will not be effective. Then during the journey of any vaccine, there is a traditional vaccine development timeline. Basically, there are two trials are there. One is preclinical trial and another is clinical trial. This is a clinical trial. So preclinical trial and clinical trial have three phases: phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Another phase is phase 4. So basically, traditional timeline contains this one. Around 10 years, it occurs to phase 4. Phase 4 is when we start injecting the vaccine in individuals. Like in COVID-19 vaccine has been started. So this is phase 4 trial is going on. And preclinical trial is first you have to test in animals to find out which antigen is good for vaccine preparation. Then phase 1, 2, 3 trials are done for safety and effectiveness and immune stimulation. Then infrastructure, manufacturing and approval, distribution. This whole takes around 10 years. When you have an accelerated vaccine development timeline, then it is shortened. So here you are finding that phase 4 has been started after 4 years. But in case of COVID-19, it was an emergency. So it is accelerated more. So within 1 year, it has reached phase 4 trial. So these are the different trials. Phase 4 trial, emergency restricted authorization have been given to vaccines for use in phase 4 trial. Then why there are so many COVID-19 vaccines in development? There are so many vaccines going on under clinical trial. Basically, if we see in last year, December 2020, there were around more than 200 vaccine trials of COVID-19 were going on. Why do we require so many trials? By past experience, we know that in clinical studies, the vaccine trials, because first is preclinical trial. Out of preclinical trial, only 7% of vaccines succeed and enter in a clinical trial. So the vaccine trials which reach for clinical trial have about a 20% chance of succeeding. So you will find around more than 200 vaccine, only 10 or 15 vaccines will be used further after in the phase 4 trial. And sometimes different vaccine types may be needed for different population groups. Like in an older group, some vaccines may not act. So for that group, some other vaccine is required. So that is also requirement for a number of trials are needed. So this month, 2021, 66 vaccine candidates are in clinical research. Some in phase 1 trials, some in phase 1-2 trials, some in phase 3 trials. And as of February 2021, only 10 vaccines are authorized in the world, whole world, at least by at least one national regulatory authority. 2 RNA vaccines are there. One is Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine, and another is Moderna vaccine. The Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine is a RNA vaccine, which was the first vaccine of COVID-19 to be used in UK. 91-year-old lady was given this vaccine on 8th of December 2020. And then 4 conventional inactivated vaccines. One important vaccine is Bharat Biotech, which is being used as a co-vaccine in India. It's a inactivated or killed vaccine. And other vaccines, Sinopharm and Sinovac, are Chinese vaccines, are being used in China. Then 3 viral vector vaccines. Important vaccine is Oxford AstraZeneca. It is a UK-made vaccine, which is by collaboration of Oxford University and AstraZeneca company. And in India, it is being prepared by Serum Institute of India in the name of Covishield. Then Sputnik V is a Russian vaccine. AD5-nCoV is a Chinese vaccine. And one peptide vaccines is being also authorized, Epivac Corona, Russian vaccine. So what is the status of COVID-19 vaccine in India? India's drug regulator has given the emergency restricted use authorization to Covishield and Covaxin. Covishield is a local name for the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine developed in the UK. And Covaxin is a locally made, totally indigenous vaccine developed by Bharat Biotech. Covaxin is India's indigenous COVID-19 vaccine. It is developed by pharma company Bharat Biotech in collaboration with Indian Council of Medical Research, ICMR, and National Institute of Virology, Pune. NIV Pune has isolated this virus, an Indian virus, from Indian patient. That virus has been used for making a killed vaccine or inactivated vaccine, whole cell vaccine. It's a whole cell vaccine. And so whether it's a dead virus or live attenuated virus, it will stimulate our immune system to make antibodies. And 2 doses are given intramuscular inside the deltoid muscle in the upper arm, 4 weeks apart. And vaccine can be stored at 2 to 8 degrees Celsius, which is our refrigerator temperature, household refrigerator temperature. Other vaccines which we were talking about, Pfizer, BioNTech, and Moderna, they are to be stored at -70 degrees Celsius and -20 degrees Celsius. And that is not feasible in India because many parts of India are having 50-degree temperature. So, and that transport is very difficult at -70 or -20 degrees Celsius in India. Even in the laboratory, we don't have such instruments enough to store these vaccines at -70 degrees Celsius or -20 degrees Celsius. So those vaccines are not suitable for India. So that's why this Covaxin and Covishield have been manufactured, which can be stored at 2 degrees Celsius to 8 degrees Celsius. Then Covishield is a Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine in the name of Covishield by Serum Institute of India. Serum Institute of India is the world's largest vaccine manufacturer. We should be proud of India that it's the largest vaccine manufacturer, and 65% of children in the world have taken at least one vaccine prepared by Serum Institute of India, and it is exporting the vaccine to 170 countries. And in COVID-19 vaccines, they are preparing 50 million doses per month. This vaccine is a weakened virus vaccine. So weakened virus is being used and known as adenovirus. So adenovirus from chimpanzee has been used as a vector. It's a vector vaccine. And again, vaccine is administered intramuscularly inside the muscle in 2 doses. 2 doses, difference between the 2 doses is 4 to 12 weeks. But in India, 4 weeks is being used between the first dose and second dose. It can be stored at 2 degrees to 8 degrees Celsius as in Covaxin. This is for science student will understand better this Covishield from jab to jab. So this is the chimpanzee adenovirus, right? Chimpanzee adenovirus. So they modify in the laboratory this chimpanzee adenovirus. This will not cause the disease. So this is the name of chimpanzee adenovirus. I will not explain it. So this is the adenovirus. On this side, in the laboratory, we have this virus, SARS-CoV-2. This is the virus, name of the virus producing COVID-19. And we are interested in spike protein. This is the spike protein. This is a spike protein. When virus enters, this spike protein attaches to our cells to produce a disease. So if we can have something which will not attach this spike protein to our cells, it will not produce disease. So we have this spike protein gene coding for spike protein. This is gene. So in the laboratory, gene sequencing is done, and to see which codes are will be producing spike protein. So this gene is this is a vector. Vector means it's a transport of this gene. Gene is in the laboratory. Gene is synthesized and put inside the vector, that is adenovirus, chimpanzee adenovirus. Then it is injected intramuscularly. So what happens when it is injected? This coding gene gives instruction to our cells to produce spike proteins. So spike proteins, our cells are expressed with spike proteins. When spike proteins are expressed on our cells, that our immune system start acting, because immune system thinks it's something foreign substance. So starts acting on this spike protein to kill that, to knock it out, because it's a foreign, not self. Meanwhile, it will knock down this spike protein, but memory cells will remember. Memory cells always remember for whole life that they were encountered with some foreign substance. So they will remember. Later on in life, if we are infected with this virus, this is COVID-19 virus, SARS-CoV-2, these memory cells will start acting on this COVID-19, and immune system will be stimulated and it will kill the virus. So that is the mechanism of from jab to jab Covishield. Then in our India, some other also like biological BE company is there, which is the world's largest manufacturer of tetanus vaccine. So that is another achievement by India, that we are the producer of largest producer of tetanus vaccine. Then India as a global leader vaccine plan. India is a vaccine powerhouse because 60% of the world's vaccines are made here only, and also is home to half a dozen major manufacturers. And India started a world's largest inoculation drive for COVID-19. When it started on 16th of Jan 2021, it was world's largest inoculation drive, vaccination drive for COVID-19. And again, I will say that it's a big achievement of India that after almost 1 month of having vaccine in the world, because first vaccine of COVID-19 was launched on 8th of December 2020, and 16th June we have another vaccine, 2 vaccines from India. That is again an achievement that we have produced, and you must have seen that so many hurdles are there that out of preclinical only 7% will be successful, and out of those 7%, 20% will be successful. Even then we succeeded. That is a very good achievement of India. And after starting of launching this world's largest vaccination drive, even within week of that, India started sending vaccines to other countries also, neighboring countries. So that is named as a vaccine diplomacy. And India is also a part of international COVAX alliances there. So many countries are part of that. India is also part of that COVAX alliance, which will deliver vaccine to poor and low-income countries. And already vaccine has been shipped to many neighboring countries like Bhutan, Bangladesh, and others. And some vaccines have been given as gifts free of cost, and some are under commercial agreement. Also planning to give vaccines to Sri Lanka and other countries. And a commercial agreement with Brazil is also there. And Foreign Ministry has also said that after meeting our own domestic requirement, then it will also send the vaccines to foreign countries. International demands will also be fulfilled. Whole world is looking at India for requirement of vaccines. So that is the achievement of our scientists. So still today, all vaccines which have been sent are Covishield, but global acceptance of Covaxin, our indigenous vaccine, is also coming up, and several countries have approached Bharat Biotech for delivery of Covaxin. And clinical trials also some countries will start with Bharat Biotech. And there are also government-to-government agreement is going on for Mongolia, Sri Lanka, Bahrain, Oman, etc. Even with the vaccination, one should not leave these tips, health and safety tips, like washing hands and wearing a mask and don't touch your face. These are totally required. And besides these vaccination drive and preparation of vaccines, COVID-19 vaccines, India has also achieved many other milestones also, like one rapid test, TrueNet. TrueNet is being used for diagnosis of COVID-19. And TrueNet is a totally indigenous rapid method. And this TrueNet was previously used, is also being used for diagnosis of tuberculosis. But scientists have modified it to use it for COVID-19 also. TrueNet, indigenous, total indigenous rapid test. And another test is, which is indigenous, which is being used for COVID-19 diagnosis, is Feluda CRISPR test. And besides COVID-19, in 1929, during the Sir C.V. Raman's days, one scientist, Mr. Brahmachari, has discovered a drug, ureastibamin. Ureastibamin, in those days, a disease was there, visceral leishmaniasis or Kala-Azar. Nowadays also this disease is there, but there was no drug for that disease, Kala-Azar. So people were dying with that visceral leishmaniasis. So he discovered urea-stibamine, and people survived all over the world with urea-stibamine. And his name was also nominated for Nobel Prize in Medicine. And so that is the achievement of India in the world. Besides COVID-19, there are other achievements also in the leprosy. Leprosy also we have a pioneer for treatment and other diagnostic. So with these words, I will end my lecture, and if any queries or questions are there.
Now we would like to ask you some questions which we received from the students. Sir, on one hand, India crossed the 10 million milestone in its vaccination drive. On the other hand, populous cities in Maharashtra have been put in semi-lockdown mode again. Do you feel India's fight with COVID is far from over?
Yes, as of today, India's fight with COVID is far from over. Not in India, whole of the world, it's far from over. Because 10 million population is not enough in a 1.38 billion population of India. 10 million vaccination is not enough. For herd immunity to occur, when herd immunity occurs, then only pandemic can be slowed down. So for herd immunity, you have to vaccinate around 50 to 80% of the population of India. And another point to be considered is that these all vaccinations are being given as of today to healthcare workers and frontline workers. Still, normal population has to be vaccination has to be started from 1st of March. And even healthcare workers, most of the workers have not taken second dose. 2 doses are there. And proper immunity starts after 14 days of second dose. So still many persons may not be totally immune with this. So that's why it is said that after vaccination, you should use that health tips also. Once herd immunity will be there, and then it may slow down. And there are variants also. Variants have also are coming up, variants of COVID-19 vaccines. So, and people are also relaxed. They are not using prevention measures, health tips. I think that is that should be taken into consideration for slowing down the pandemic.
Thank you, sir. So the next question we have is, the COVID-19 is believed to have originated from the Wuhan's market, which is famous among flesh eaters in China. Does this indicate that a non-vegetarian diet makes you more susceptible to viruses, or is it just a myth?
It's just a myth, because if suppose it's through non-veg eating, then only non-vegetarian should be getting the COVID-19, right? And not the vegetarian. And another point is that mode of infection of COVID-19 is not eating the flesh. It's through contact or through inhalation. So even when we are eating the meat or some other non-vegetarian food, we are cooking it also. And this is originated in the Wuhan market. It is still not clear, but basically originated from the animals. That virus has been originated from animals, because the new virus, it is a combination of some viruses. Combination of virus, it is supposed to be a bat virus, bat coronavirus, which was in the bat. Then people are saying that in pangolin also virus was there. Both are recombination occurred of both viruses and a new virus emerged. that has been originated from animals, and by handling of persons with those, it has come into the community. But mode of infection is totally different, either droplet or fomites or through inhalation, right? So it is myth totally that it will be.
Sir, we request you to stop the sharing. Thank you.
It was very nice interacting with Vani and Kushi. It's my first interaction with younger lot, and it's very interesting to talking to you.
Thank you, sir.
In the presence of our honorable chief guest and the entire GGSE community, we would like to unveil the In the presence of our honorable chief guest and the entire GGSE community, we would like to unveil the third edition of our science newsletter, Eureka.
This letter is annual affair or?
Sir, it's a biannual newsletter.
Biannual. Okay. Okay. I am very glad to unveil this Eureka biannual newsletter of Genesis Global School, Noida, and contents are there. So I congratulate the school for having such a newsletter, having very important information on various aspects. Once again, I congratulate whole of the school for this letter. Congratulations to the students on the Wall of Glory. Congratulations to all students who are editors and other involved in the making of this newsletter.
Now, may I please request our director, Mr. David Brazo, to say a few words.
Good morning, everybody. I think somehow Mr. Brazo has not been able to join because of some important commitment. On behalf of Genesis family, thank you so much, Professor Dr. Baweja, for giving us an insight on the journey of vaccination. And there were so many facts which were unveiled, which I'm sure many of us were not aware of it. And it is very important for all of us to know where we stand and have to be updated in the current scenario, and also required to know what are the challenges which we are going to face in future. Once again, thank you so much, Dr. Baweja, for such a wonderful session, and I'm sure our students will surely explore about this particular topic, which is so much in the current news, and they will go beyond and explore on it. And maybe some may be inspired to join medicine in future. Once again, thank you so much. Have a good day. All the students, I'm so glad that many of you could join on time, and I am sure you must have been benefited. Now, thank you and have a good day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you very much, ma'am. And thank you, sir, for taking out some of your time. We are indeed very fortunate to have such an eminent person with us today. I'm sure that the participants have also benefited by joining us today and understood the way that vaccines work. I would like to thank Madhur ma'am for giving us the opportunity to host this webinar. And last but certainly not the least, I would like to thank all the teachers and students for being a patient audience. You may return to your classes now.